From the mining news, this is what you should expect. New mine brings job hopes to Mufulira residents, and CTPD urges linkage between artisanal miners and major industry players. The details are coming up after this.
With my journey at Trident, I started as an operator in milling, then moved on to sampling. We have things like on-stream analyzers that are able to tell us how we're running the plant in real time instead of waiting for 2 hours to get the results, and then we take action. So from there, I went to being a metallurgist in comminution and moved to process control, and now I'm eventually in operations optimization. One thing that I have learned in this role is sometimes you're thrown to the deep end to kind of navigate for yourself. And that is a good thing because you build confidence, and if you don't do something well, you learn what not to do next time.
Now, a Zambian-owned company, Statunga Investments Limited, has made progress with the establishment of a new poised to create over 1,000 jobs in Mufulira district in the Copperbelt province. The mine, which is located just 20 kilometers from the central business district, is expected to be operational by November this year. Mufulira residents have expressed excitement over the coming of the new mine, urging the government to ensure the local inhabitants are prioritized in the employment opportunities arising from new mines. Meanwhile, Mufulira Mayor Tanaeli Kamanga is happy that new mines are being opened in the district, calling on mining companies to develop the district through their corporate social responsibilities.
Just about 20 kilometers from the Central Business District CBD of Mufulira District is a major new mining operation taking place. A new mine is being developed by Zambian-owned company Statunga Investments Limited. The development of this mine has excited Mufulira residents.
So that abana besu nangubala basibumba abana besu abaleta kuiwa makebo efinsi ndimbala alekako because inchito inshallah fula nganikunsato kukwine mwalandoku chawama kumukambo maini iyo ile isuka nintemwa because ichalo efa chava kuya pantanshi.
However, the residents have appealed for local residents to be prioritized in the employment opportunities arising from the new mine.
Icho tuli kumaira pusana chakwebati amamenzi sisi yaisuka tulefwa sana ama resident yabekere munomwine muloko babalira pokwingirinzi bakwebati ubulofa bulya bwapwa bantu ngatwati tulorese sana abesa mukubombe bafuma kumbi ero nga babomba bala bantu nga bafula ntalama shamukubomba kula kwino kubekala kunonyesi kwashala poverty filafini.
Meanwhile, Kankoa Member of Parliament Atson Mabeta is optimistic that the opening up of a new mine will provide employment opportunities for the youths in his constituency.
So the coming up of this Lonsobe mine is a good, I can say, a dream come true to the people of Kankoyo who are grappling with high rate of unemployment. Most of the youth in Kankoyo, they end up involving themselves in illicit activities such as criminality, stealing of cables, stealing of scrap. They've been a problem to Mopani because they've all been looking at one mine. Now the coming up of Lonsobe mine provides an opportunity for job creation as well as, we'll be contributing to the 3 million metric tons ambition of the UPND government.
Rogan Labika, Damo News, Copperbelt Province.
In more mining news, the Centre for Trade Policy and Development has called for stronger integration between artisanal miners and larger players in the mining industry, saying such linkages are key to unlocking financing and scaling up production in Zambia's small-scale mining sector. Speaking on the sidelines of the ongoing regional dialogue on Africa's green minerals value chain in Lusaka on Wednesday, CTPD Executive Director Isaac Mwaipopo says meaningful support to artisanal miners, particularly those who have built some capacity in value addition, would enable them to access broader markets and attract investment. He adds that small-scale miners who are already engaging in processing and value addition must not be left behind in policy implementation and should be empowered to scale up their operations through deliberate partnerships. Meanwhile, Fadel Kabob, Associate Professor of Economics at Denison University, emphasized the importance of a coordinated regional approach to industrial policy in Africa. He has urged African leaders to shift from thinking solely in national terms and begin creating collaborative regional industrial strategies.
Africa is endowed with vast reserves of critical minerals such as lithium, cobalt, and copper, all essential for the global green energy transition. Yet the continent remains largely excluded from the full value of its mineral wealth, often exporting raw materials with little local processing or benefit to its people. It's against this background that a regional policy dialogue on Africa's green minerals value chain has been hosted from the 27th to the 28th of May 2025. On the sidelines of the event, Isaac Mwaipopo, Executive Director of the Centre for Trade Policy and Development, has emphasized the importance of linking artisanal and small-scale miners to bigger industry players. He says such integration is crucial to unlocking financing and scaling production.
Equally important would be the need to link our artisanal small-scale miners to bigger players. What can happen is that through some of these cooperatives that they have formed, they can be encouraged to do more of aggregation of the minerals, and through aggregation you can also help them to link them up to bigger mining players that are equally involved in the exploitation of similar minerals. That in itself does unlock some financing.
Fadel Kabob, an associate professor of economics at Denison University, has urged African leaders to move beyond national approaches to industrial policy and adopt a unified regional strategy.
It's time for our leaders to stop thinking of national industrial policies and start to think of joint industrial policies at the regional scale or on a continental scale. And that's where the conversation is. Thankfully, we're moving in that direction now. Bargaining chips that we can use collectively to get more out of this current geopolitical disruption and trade disruption that the US has created over the last few months.
To say we have enough, in actual fact we have abundance, 30% of critical minerals dotted across different countries. DRC has so much abundance of cobalt, Zambia has copper, Zimbabwe has lithium, Mozambique has graphite. It's high time we need to have a conversation amongst Africans on what we need to come up with a model value chain.
Meanwhile, Honorable Tsepang Sita Mosena, Deputy Speaker of the Lesotho Parliament and representative of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, has called for greater political will among lawmakers to ensure their constituents benefit from Africa's vast mineral wealth.
To facilitate training so that they're enlightened with the critical minerals that we have, the political will that we need to have as leaders in the continent or in the region, and the networks that we really need to work on and move together as a continent, not individually.
As the dialogue wraps up, the message is clear. Africa must no longer be just a source of raw materials. With the right policies, investment and cooperation, the continent can claim its rightful place in the global green minerals value chain. Rachel Mumba for Diamond News.
That's our mining news, and before we get to conclude this segment, let's quickly take a look at the mineral commodity prices.
Mining News, sponsored by First Quanta Minerals Limited, operating Kansanshi Mining PLC, and FQM Trident Limited.
Now, from the mineral commodity prices, we do have 2 minerals closing off in a positive and 4 in a negative. We do start off firstly with aluminium. That did have a positive closing price of $2,485. Copper did close off in a negative price there with $9,596.50. Zinc closing off with a positive there with a closing price of $2,705.50. And we have nickel, which closed off in a negative with a closing price of $15,409. And lead closed off in a negative with a closing price of $1,985.50. And finally, tin closing off as well with a negative price with a closing price there of $32,588. That wraps up our mineral commodity prices, but overall that's our mining news. We take a break. We continue with the rest of the news desk.
Mining news sponsored by First Quanta Minerals Limited, operating Kansanshi Mining PLC and FQM Trident Limited.